Part of me was thrilled to bits that during my lifetime, there was going to be a home Olympics and I had a chance of riding there. But part of me thought, oh, it's not going to be half as good as, the Sydney Olympics or the Beijing Olympics where you fly the horses, to the other side of the world and all the excitement that creates. But I can honestly say now, having done the London Olympics, it's out of the 6 Olympics I've been to, it's been the best that I've been to. And yeah, just the whole thing was wonderful. It was great as a rider that we were able to live in the Olympic Village. That for me is really important, and I think it makes all the difference between it being an Olympics or just another horsey event. And that's why I was very pro Greenwich hosting the equestrian disciplines, although there was a lot of controversy about it as to whether, the horsey equestrian bit ought to be out at Badminton or Hickstead or places where there was already an equestrian site. But I was always really, very backing it being in Greenwich, knowing that if it was there, the lucky riders who went would be in the Olympic Village. And being in the Olympic Village, it just, it's just such an honour to be amongst all the top sports people in the world. That everybody, the Olympic Village, only athletes can be in there. Not that I always think us riders are really athletes, but athletes and trainers and our sort of, chef to keep can be in the Olympic Village. So, when you're walking through the village, everybody's there at the top of their sport. They've all worked so hard to be there. And in a way, you're all together, a real feeling of unity. You're all there for one reason, and that's to try and win that, win a medal. And yes, at Greenwich, it was worked very well. I mean, in a way, possibly we might have had more of a chance as a country of winning gold if the Olympics had been at Badminton or somewhere, because we're fortunate, us British riders, to be able to ride around these big open courses and big open parklands, and whereas Greenwich, it was a bit of a roller coaster of a ride. The fences, to be honest, they weren't big, but what made it difficult was the terrain and the twists and the turns. And it was a matter of just setting off and getting the job done, and knowing that you felt it looked maybe not as neat as you wanted to, but just to get it done. But the support for everybody, but obviously even more for us British riders, was just phenomenal. And galloping across country with this roar that I've never experienced it before, and I'm sure I never will again. But this roar as you're galloping. And you could hear the roar gathering, building up ahead of you like a sort of Mexican wave as you were going around, and galloping along. And of course, you're quite reliant on your stopwatch when you're going around the courses. You want to ideally finish just inside that optimum time, and so you sort of work out where you should be at each minute. But galloping along, and the noise, I couldn't hear my stopwatch, and then of course I'm getting a bit old and I couldn't sort of see it. I really sort of get the specs out. So just sort of gallop along at the speed I thought was right. And in fact I was stopped on the course because I was held because the rider ahead of me had a tumble. So then your time goes a bit out of the window anyway. But anyway, it all was really exciting. The last phase, show jumping, built up to a real crescendo. It was also tight, the scores at the end. When I went in that show jumping arena, knowing that I had to jump a clear round for us to maintain the silver position, and I just had to sort of go. I'd sort of go into my own little sort of bubble and try and ignore all the crowds around, and just concentrate on me and Archie, that's Imperial Cavalier, and just go into the ring and pretend I'm riding around a normal course of fences, just trying to ride each fence well, and just trying not to have any thought about all those millions of people watching and hoping that you're going to leave the fences standing. And just, once I jumped that last fence, yes, then to know I've done my job clear and in the time. Absolutely fantastic. everybody the best of luck. You know, it's such a roller coaster of a time, isn't it? Owning horses and competing, ups and downs, and just have to, when things aren't going well, if you've had a fall or your horse has been injured, just keep your chin up, work out what's going wrong, and follow those dreams, because it is all possible. And for me, I've been very fortunate enough to have won a bronze medal in Beijing. I won a silver medal in Athens Olympics, so I was quite hoping for gold in London so I could complete the set. But it's great still, to win the silver. It just means I'm going to have to keep going for another 4 years.